Yep, yep.
You know, if I see him again, I'm gonna tell you.
Hey, Houston and land. Man, welcome to KTSU, The Choice 90.9. I'm Dr. DZ Cofield, the host of Impact Houston Live, been filling in there, and the host of Real World, Real Talk. And we're just taking this time, man, just to, I want to say remember George Floyd, but even more than that, just lament, man, just over what's going on. I don't know about you, but I'm grieving. Um, in a way that I don't remember grieving ever before. In the midst of this pandemic and all that's transpiring, there's this crazy mixture within me of anger, frustration. There's some apprehension. This is not real spiritual to say, but there's some fear, there's some concern on multiple levels. And today we just want to talk about it and want to give you an opportunity to share as well. I had an opportunity to know George Floyd, and so to hear about another black man dying at the hands of the police was sad enough, was hard enough. And to hear about it in Minnesota, I was like, man, I said, I need to call a friend of mine. He pastors in Minnesota, the largest church in the Minneapolis, St. Paul area, black church. And I said, man, let me call him because my son went to school there. My youngest son went to undergrad there. So I know a little bit about the area. And, then to find out it was a Houston resident and then to find out it was George Floyd was shocking. And man, I'm at the point of tears, both in sadness for he and his family, his children, his grandchild, but also just angry. Man, there's just a righteous indignation, and I'm angry on several levels. And I've been trying to unfurl this, trying to figure this out all morning. If you haven't seen the images, if you haven't seen the footage, it's posted all over. And to say it is uh, shocking and disheartening is an understatement. To see a brother for 9 minutes say he can't breathe, and to see an officer totally unconcerned about human life.
And you know what? Every time he talked about he can't breathe, the knee went in deeper.
Yeah, it's almost like there's this belief that if you couldn't breathe, then you shouldn't be able to talk, right? And the fact that you can talk means you can breathe, and it's insane, Donna. It's absolutely insane. And then you contrast that with another image that was disturbing to me as a black man and the father of two sons. The image of Amy Cooper in Central Park in New York, who, after being confronted by a Harvard educated black man who is bird watching.
You know how peaceful is that?
Right. I mean, binoculars, he's bird watching. And then to have him uh, confront her about putting her dog on a leash.
Because that's the law.
Right, that's the law. And for her to say, I'm going to call the police, and then to threaten him and say, I'm going to tell them something that's not true. I'm going to tell them that I am in fear of my life. And then to watch her whole tone change and escalate when the 911 operator or whoever she called didn't give her the reaction that she thought she should get. And now she's almost acting like he's running up on her, like, oh my God, I'm terrified. I'm afraid, send the police.
Isn't that something?
And it took me back to when I was a little boy when Emmett Till was murdered. His body had been mutilated
Yep.
and was killed. Young man from Chicago who was visiting family in Mississippi. And no offense to those of you who are from Mississippi, I've had to go to Mississippi as a grown man, and I still didn't want to go to Mississippi. I mean, and I remember my father, because my father's from Alabama, and I remember when we were driving to visit his grandparents who raised him, and I remember him like just drilling me. Now I'm like 7 years old, 8 years old. Don't look at a white woman. Don't look at them. Don't say anything to them. Don't do anything.
Because you could lose your life.
Because you could lose your life. And I mean, scared me. And to this day, there's a latent fear that I have
Of course.
of white women. And
Of course.
all of that came back when this white woman, Amy Cooper, lied to the police that a Harvard-educated black man bird watching was a threat to her life and a threat to her safety.
Good afternoon. I've been saying good morning all day. Good afternoon. Welcome to the special edition of KTSU News, The Source. What's going on? What's going on?
Yeah, it's insane. And then you see the images. And I understand. Now, that doesn't mean I condone it. That doesn't mean I have to accept it. But I understand.
What images are you talking about?
The images of this officer at a Donald Trump rally, shaking the president's hand. The images of him wearing a hat that's modeled after the Make America Great Again hat.
That statement?
But the hat says, if you look at it, it doesn't say Make America Great Again. It said Make Whites Great Again.
We have a caller. Good afternoon, caller. You're on the air. Hello, caller. You're on the air.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
Donna?
Yes.
This is Kathleen.
Hi, Miss Kathleen.
I'm with the African standpoint,
Mm-hmm.
and I can relate a lot. I'm not a Christian, so you know, probably them.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was relocated here, we were not informed about race issues. So when I was up there, when we started taking the legislation
Yeah.
where I think really does some terrible things
Mm-hmm.
to people about toying with our children. The Lord kept me from doing it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a hurtful thing, really.
Thank you, Miss Kathleen. We appreciate your call. We have another caller. Thank you.
I
God bless and
appreciate
take
you
care.
all being here. I called you 8 times Monday, but that's okay. I'm calling today.
I love
God
you, Miss
bless.
Kathleen. All right.
I love you too.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye. Good afternoon. You're on a special edition of KTSU News, The Source. What's going on?
Hi, excuse me. My name is Pamela,
Mm-hmm.
and I understand that everybody is, hurting and, and upset, but we know that this is the norm for us, and unfortunately, we are not doing what is necessary to
what